It was March of this year when cherry farmers first learned the USDA was planning to buy tart cherries. This additional $15 million purchase means the USDA is now going to be buying $30 million worth of tart cherries, including ones grown right here in northern Michigan. Another major part of the Know It Before You Throw It campaign is education, so people know just what items can get recycled. That way, things like milk cartons and aluminum cans don't end up here in the garbage. Here in Kalkaska County, it costs them about $300,000 a mile to take their roads from looking like this to looking more like this. Right now, craft brewers pay $3.50 per barrel on the first 60,000 barrels of beer they produce. If this tax cut expires, that tax gets a whole lot frothier and goes up to $7 a barrel. When indoor fitness classes resume here at MP Fit Club, things like masks and frequent sanitizing will be required, as well as social distancing. That means every member will have to stay within one of these 10 by 10 spaces during their workout. The passage of time has done two things for this case. It's added to the frustration that whoever killed Melissa Simmons is still out there. But it's also given rise to new technology that could finally help solve this case. That meeting wrapping up just about an hour or so ago, and the focus was helping businesses like this pizza place here in downtown Sanford that still face a long road ahead. You see it still has windows missing, caution tape up. Hey, good afternoon from outside of the state capitol here in Lansing, where the legislature is actually in session today. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first let's recap what Governor Whitmer had to say just a short time ago. First, the stay-at-home order is going to be extended through at least the middle of May, but there's going to be some modifications to it. Some of those restrictions are going to be loosened. The governor and her family own a vacation home here in Antrim County, not far from here. And these documents unsealed today in federal court in Grand Rapids show this plot eventually came to center on that home. You can see the area behind me filled with people awaiting the arrival of Vice President Mike Pence. I'm told that arrival is going to happen in roughly 10 minutes. The area you see that has about filled to capacity holds about 250 people. Wonder if I could talk to you for a second.
I said come on in, but I changed my mind. Go on out.
We tracked down Leelanau County Road Commissioner Tom Eckerly at his home near Sutton's Bay this morning, where he did not deny using a racial slur at a recent road commission meeting. Do you deny the comments?
No, I don't have nothing to say to the news because the news can't put it straight anyway.
Well, I'm here to make it straight right now, sir.
Goodbye.
9 and 10 News also received questions about freedom of speech relating to Eckerly's comments. Ferris State professor Dr. Christian Peterson says while the U.S. enjoys broad freedom of speech, there are limits.
If you look at someone like Thomas Jefferson, was a vigorous defender of free speech, would not have made the argument that you won't suffer any consequences over what you say. But it's more that you don't end up in prison.
As for Eckerly, he also did not want to discuss the growing number of people calling for him to resign. What do you have to say to the people calling for your resignation?
Goodbye.
Nothing to say.
Goodbye.
Eckerly's fellow road commissioners are now calling for him to step down. State Senator Kurt Vanderwall released a statement today that reads, "Racism is totally unacceptable in our society, and Commissioner Eckerly's use of a racial slur is shocking, appalling, and cannot be tolerated. He should resign immediately, or the county should begin actions to have the governor remove him from office." And the governor's office released this statement today that reads, "Governor Whitmer believes that Road Commissioner Tom Eckerly must resign immediately. His comments are atrocious. The governor has been very clear. There is no place for hate and racism in Michigan." The Leelanau County Board of Commissioners is set to meet on August 18th. Eckerly's comments will almost certainly be a topic of discussion. This was the smallest of the 3 protests that have taken place over the last month and a half here in Lansing. But the message of these demonstrators remained the same. You can see what the crowd looked like by mid-afternoon, and many of them had either headed home or headed to their cars to start driving around the Capitol and honking horns like we have seen in previous demonstrations. But the message of these protesters remained the same. They are worried about the economy and want Governor Whitmer to start opening up more sectors of the economy. They say more businesses may be forced to close permanently if that does not happen.
I wanted to support the rally. Gretchen, her executive authority expired April the 30th, and this is a sheer power grab. She has no rights to do these things that she's been doing, to mandating these things. She's spreading fear, she's spreading hopelessness, She's not sharing her data.
And the demonstration here today remained peaceful for the most part. There were 2 dust-ups in front of the Capitol steps. Police did have to step in one of those cases. This is what cabin owners on Houghton Lake's North Shore are now facing off against. A massive wall of ice that's come right up to the edge of some cabins, and in other cases, gone right into them.
Mother Nature has her way. There's no stopping it once it starts coming.
It's a battle that Jim Scart's Houghton Lake cabin just couldn't win. As ice inched closer to shore, it eventually took over his cabin's front porch.
When I saw the picture, it was like, oh crap. We just put sliding glass doors in 2 years ago and fixed the cabin up a lot, and now the ice got it.
Jim bought the cabin in 1994. He's seen plenty of springs bring piles of ice, but he says those piles have never ended up in his cabin.
This will be a very unique graduation.
After what's been a unique school year, a unique graduation seemed all the more appropriate for Baldwin Community Schools and their seniors. That includes Brad Taylor.
By the power vested in me as superintendent of Baldwin Schools, I pronounce you a Baldwin graduate.
I missed almost half the year, so I got to stay home and work all the time.
And with seniors still home, the school figured why not bring the graduation ceremony right to each student's front yard.
I like it this way because it's more memorable. It shows that they care about me and they do anything for this day. It was super fun. It got me emotional, but I'm not going to cry.
Walks across the stage may have been replaced with a walk across the porch, but the emotion of finally having that diploma was just as real for these seniors.
10 years, 20 years down the road, you know, they won't talk about how the gym was packed and how hot it was and those kind of things, but they'll talk about how people showed up right at their house and they graduated in their front lawn.
There's been no shortage of life lessons for these seniors in recent months. Brad says this journey simply taught him that greatness prevails.
Started to bring memories. I don't have any actually shooting memories, but I had a lot of memories that was close.
It's a simple melody of just 24 notes, but on Memorial Day, taps evokes a scale of emotions, especially for World War II veteran Dick Allen.
I've been playing ever since I was in high school, mostly at funerals, and it always seems to be it'll catch you a little bit, because if you see the people having problems, you start to have a problem with them. You have to be part of it in order to get the real feeling.
This was a different kind of Memorial Day service, but the significance of this day was not lost on the generations who came to pay tribute.
Personally, it's a wonderful experience. I love my country, and this is a very small way to reach out and do something. And I'm happy to do it, honored to do it.
It was exciting being able to learn a new song and being able to play it with my grandpa in these difficult times.
And for the veterans who played this Memorial Day tribute, today is about holding fast to the promise to never forget.
You're proud that you were able to serve. Take pride in the country. We live in the greatest part of the world, in the United States, and we have a legacy that we must never lose.
These arraignments just wrapped up, but details pouring into our newsroom this afternoon. Here is what we know so far. 3 men, Michael Null, William Null, and Eric Molitor, all face terror act and felony weapons charges. They were just formally charged in Antrim County. Now, as we stick with those live images coming out of Parkland, Florida, this is just north of Miami, and those images you are looking at on your screen right now, we believe could be the suspect that police have been looking for, getting ready to be loaded into a patrol car. The reports are that it was a male shooter who started shooting in this building around 2:30 this afternoon. The local affiliate there in Miami, our CBS affiliate, reporting the suspect possibly in custody, and that is the image we believe we are looking at right now. This is being called a mass casualty incident. Now, reports are that there are at least 20 people who have been hurt. And earlier reports were saying the shooter was still at large, but now we believe that shooter could be in custody, possibly a former student. and this school just north of Miami. Parents right now being told to stay away from the scene, so certainly an emotional time for everyone in Florida and across the country. I want to read some tweets from President Trump. He says, "My prayers and condolences to the families of the victims of this terrible Florida shooting. No child, teacher, or anyone else should ever feel unsafe in an American school." And another tweet just from 3 minutes ago, just spoke to Governor Rick Scott. "We are working closely with law enforcement on the terrible Florida school shooting." President Trump weighing in on that. The White House also expected to make a statement on this school shooting. This is at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. Those live images, possibly the suspect in custody. Right off the top at 5, the search for this missing 2-year-old in Oscoda County is now over. Gabriella Vitale has been found alive and well. State police, deputies, and volunteers combined to search for Gabriella, who went missing around 8 Monday and found her more than 27 hours later. And after being found alive, Gabriella was taken to Munson Healthcare Grayling Hospital to be checked out after 27 hours alone in the Oscoda County woods. 9 and 10's Xavier Hershevitz is live outside the hospital to begin our team coverage tonight. Xavier, you just spoke to Gabriella's father, and how's she doing tonight? Just an absolutely marvelous effort by everyone to find Gabriella in Oscoda County. Everyone there, including us, so thankful that she is safe and with her family tonight. Right off the top at 5, a strong warning from law enforcement as the Lake Michigan shoreline is starting to get hit hard with some strong waves. It comes as we just learned the search has been suspended for a missing man off the shore. Brian Herman went missing off the coast of Ludington State Park yesterday afternoon while in the water with his wife and kids. That is right here at the mouth of the Big Sauble River. We have some developing news right now at 5 we want to get to. State police are out searching for a man in Missaukee County that is on the run after they say he violated his parole. Troopers say a Missaukee County deputy found a vehicle associated with Les Robinson in a field off Sealy Road near the county line. Take a good look at your screen. This is the man they are looking for. Again, that's Les Robinson. State police say he also may be with a woman. They say to lock your cars and your homes as a precaution. There is also a canine unit in the area. And we have just learned a daycare near Sealy Road is on lockdown as a precaution. Now, back in 2016, we told you state police arrested Robinson after being on the run for several months. At that time, he was wanted for running a meth lab, assaulting a police officer, and other crimes. Gabriella Galloway is on her way to the scene, and she will bring you a live report in our second half hour. Continuing coverage now on this northern Michigan lawmaker facing federal charges. State Representative Larry Inman has been removed from the House Republican caucus. Representative Inman was indicted last week on charges of bribery, attempted extortion, and lying to the FBI. The indictment accuses Inman of asking unions for money in exchange for a no vote on repealing Michigan's prevailing wage law. The indictment says he did that through text messages. Inman was elected to represent the 104th District in 2014 and has been reelected twice since then. Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield has called on Inman to resign. And Michigan Republican Party Chair Laura Cox released this statement today saying, quote, "Republicans are committed to honest government, which puts the needs of the people first. I applaud the Michigan House Republican Caucus for removing Larry Inman, who is accused of violating this trust," end quote.